God damn it, it's in my head. Help.
All right. Stop, please.
I can't. Help.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
SpongeBob. I'm ready to start the podcast, SpongeBob.
You know what would make this podcast a little bit better?
If we drank brake fluid before each episode.
Root beer!
I have no idea what you just said because you lagged in the middle of it.
Root beer! No, root beer, no!
Shut up. Shut up.
It's your own damn fault for showing me that last night. It's so
Well, excuse me for
stupid.
me not...
It's so stupid.
One, not knowing that
It's
you
so
hadn't
stupid.
seen a 5-year-old meme, and two, that you fucking would... It would break you as a person.
Green 18! Green 19!
Fournette, the running back. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Brady to throw. Throws a deep pass downfield. Got Scotty Miller in the open. Makes the catch. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Rodgers fires quickly, end zone is caught for the touchdown by Allen Lazard.
Just drive again back at the 21. Dropping, 3-step drop. Goes on the end zone. Caught ball. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans reaches up with one hand.
Rodgers spins to his left. Comes underneath, and the pass is incomplete, out of bounds. Now they say complete. 3rd and 1. Rodgers play action. Looks to the end zone. Rainbow Jordy Nelson. He's got it.
To the 11-yard line. There's the snap. Mahomes running to his right. Look out. He may run. Mahomes directly. No, toward the end down. Battle intercepted. Picked off in the end zone. Bucks are going to beat the Chiefs.
But enough about our
Well, anyway.
enough about our bullshit with our past lives as
Enough
terrible
about us being
football
losers.
players.
What is up, guys? I am back, and we are back here with Draz for episode 14 of the Battle for the Bay podcast. Well, my computer's back officially, so I got better
Computer's
audio and
back.
OBS, so... Huh?
That's about the only thing that's back. No cameras this week because
Because
we're recording this at
yeah,
what,
we're
11:04.
11:04 for you, 10:04 for me. And also for the fact that, God damn it, can I talk, please? Ah!
It's up to you. Talk. Well,
I knew I should have grabbed a bottle of water.
Long story short, we're recording because there was election shenanigans yesterday.
Yeah,
SDS was trying to find a way to vote, but he never ended up getting there
I
in
went
time.
across Edmond for 3 hours trying to find a rental car that didn't exist.
Get fucked.
But
And then yeah, so
and then
long story
me and
short,
him-
we're
me
a
and him
late
had
night podcast.
Me and him had a pretty late night last night. We
We
were
had
watching
a-
the circus unfold.
Yeah, so long story short, we're doing a late night podcast today.
Yep.
It's a late nighter. But
besides,
it actually
we're
helped
tinkering-
us get all this trade deadline stuff. So.
It did. Plus, we're also going to be tinkering with the background to see what else we can do besides just our webcams on each corner. So, hey, maybe next week it'll be different. Instead of just, pictures of what should have been. Speaking of which, it is Wednesday. That means it is time for Pick-Ems.
Yes.
Okay, so last week, I forgot to mention this in the past episode, our records for the week. But last week we both went 10-5. We went even on splits, which is the only reason why I didn't gain any games on him. that brings our total records to 88-50 for you, Draz, and 85-53 for me.
I'm rolling. I'm not gonna have more than 50 losses this season. Imagine if I go undefeated for the rest of the season.
But
I have my hand in the crystal ball and the other hand on my cock.
I think you had. I'll say. I think you have both. I think you have both hands in there right now. But first things first. Thursday Night Football. We got the Bengals at the Ravens.
Well, not to spoil anything, but because I don't know what you're thinking, but personally, I thought for sure there's going to be some sort of divisional BS going on, and the Bengals are hunting for a playoff spot because somehow they're still in the hunt.
They somehow got through another 4 weeks of bullshit at the gate.
Joe Burrow is angry. He's been angry for the last couple of weeks.
You know, as soon as he cut the lesbian haircut, he's playing fine.
He played fine for most of the first 3 weeks. They lost a game where he threw for, what was it, like 500 passing yards almost? Or was it 5 passing or 6 passing touchdowns? Something. It was some crazy stat and they still lost.
Yeah, I got no clue. But either way, who do you trust more here? The Ravens, who
I'm actually going to...
Who do you trust more here? The defense who don't have... The Ravens who don't have a defense? Or the Bengals who are ran by an idiot?
I'm going to actually trust the Bengals for this one.
Really?
Yes. I'm thinking a little bit of an upset's going to happen.
All right, well, we're splitting right at the gate. I got the Ravens. They've been on a roll, and as terrible as that defense has been...
Well, they haven't really been on a roll because they've only won 1 game in a row.
2,
they
actually.
Lost the Browns. They lost to the Browns.
Oh, right.
Did they not?
Shit. Wait, was the Browns after Tampa?
Browns was after Tampa.
Okay. Oh, but still, they've been playing really well. It was against the Broncos, but still. Unfortunately, I think Lamar's going to have back-to-back MVPs. To my great chagrin.
I'm thinking Josh Allen. Josh Allen's done more with less.
That's true, but
we'll get to that later.
All people care about are stats. But I got the Ravens, you got the Bengals. But
we got another barn burner of a game here. Giants
I'm pretty sure this
and Panthers.
I'm pretty sure this was outlawed by the Geneva Convention. This game is being played in Germany. Is this still repercussions for World War II?
I was about to say this has to be punishment of some kind for the people of Germany.
All right, look at the positives here. The Panthers won last week against the Saints. That was funny to watch. And the Giants made it very, very close against the Commanders.
Yeah, but we really.
I don't trust Carolina to do it the back-to-back weeks. I don't.
Yeah, I gotta go with Giants.
The Carolina Short King gave me the laugh. He can go away now.
He had a good game though. Not gonna lie.
He did, but I think Andy Dalton probably would have done the exact same thing. If not, maybe a little bit better.
Probably.
All right, New England and Chicago.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm going with Chicago.
Why? Why would you do this?
Because the Patriots could not come back and beat the Titans, and the Bears are a better defense than that.
Yes. But here's the rub. Fuck the Bears.
I mean, I'm right there with you, but I'm a realist.
I'm taking New England.
Patriots are really bad.
I'm taking New England here. They made it. They almost pulled off magic a few times this month. Well, a few times last month, and I think their defense makes Caleb Williams come to heel. I think
even with a bad
the Patriots.
Bad performance by him, by the Bears, they'll still be able to win. But It's one of those games that anything can happen.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of anything can happen,
we got
49ers Buccaneers.
Okay, what has been happening the past few weeks? Let's see. First off, we haven't won since, I think, week 5. It's now week 10.
Yeah.
The problem is that versus the Falcons, we literally handed them the game. The Chiefs bullshat to another win. And let's see what else. No, that about covers it. But
there ain't no way I'm picking the Buccaneers this week. They've scored me 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you're a curse. You're an officially
Actually,
curse
no,
on my team.
The only times I've picked against the Buccaneers, and it's worked out is the Falcons.
Either way, you're a curse on my team. I don't want you to pick it for the rest of the year, and I'm going to hold you to that. You said yourself you're not going to do it.
Well, I'm picking the 49ers. I might choose the Buccaneers against a bad team, but
well, I'm being a homer. I'm choosing the Bucks because we gotta do something here. We've if I had a nickel for every time we blew it in overtime this year, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but I hate that it happened twice.
Well,
we could be 6-3 right now.
Your bias blinds you, SDS.
No, I'm saying we could be 6-3 if we win those 2 overtime games.
Well, I know, but I'm saying your bias blinds you.
Oh, you want to see how my bias blinds you? You look at the next game.
Broncos Chiefs.
The bullshit has to end. It has to end at some point.
He's not. If it's not ended via the Bucks, it's not ended via the Broncos.
I needed it to happen versus the Broncos. I can't stand it anymore. The NFL can't stand it. He can't
I'm
get
choosing
away
the Chiefs.
with it.
It's one of those games where play safe.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like the Broncos won against the Chiefs last year. And they're debatably worse this time around. They got to at least get him once. All right.
The problem is their quarterback's inconsistent as hell, and the Chiefs' defense is legitimately great.
Ugh.
Unfortunately.
All right.
So I'm going with my Bane the Chiefs, but play it safe. Be excited if I take a loss.
All right. Buffalo at Indy. Joe Flacco. Why? You were supposed to be the chosen one.
At this point, I'm pro Richardson. That was a horrible game. I watched that.
Flacco's good off the bench. That's the only thing we learned.
He's only good if you bench. But you got to start Richardson for 5 minutes and then bench him for Flacco, and then it'll be fine.
But yeah,
I don't know.
I think this is an easy Buffalo pick, albeit they've had some weird upsets happen against them.
Yeah, easy Bills, but it's another one back to back. Just don't think too hard about it. Make the correct choice and live with it if it's an upset.
All right. Pittsburgh at Washington. Commanders. I said at the very beginning of the year I was believers in them, but I didn't think they'd be 7-2 good.
I'll be honest, I really, really want to pick the Steelers here, but I can't.
I can't choose the Steelers here, man. The Commanders have been doing too good.
Their offensive line, the Commanders' offensive line's bad, but their offense has been so electric that I feel like it could boon over top of that.
Like my love of Jaden Daniels overrules my hatred of a piece they just acquired. But I'm taking the comment.
But yeah.
I'm taking the commies here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders, but this is a very good barometer for the Commanders. So if they get their asses handed to them, we'll know that they're a playoff team, just not a contender.
Okay,
right.
Minneapolis, Vikings at Jags.
Vikings and Jags. So I sent you my picks yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I sat here for like 20 minutes thinking about this one. The majority of my time was thinking about this one and the last one.
Well, it's not that much of a mystery to me. I think Minneapolis takes this.
I ended up coming with Minneapolis, but this is Sam Darnold's coming off a horrible game, and the Jaguars are desperate and angry. And so I was like, dude, I want to pick it so bad. But I have to pick the Vikings because their defense can get a pass rush, and I think that the Jaguars' offensive system, like the system around Trevor Lawrence, is killing him as a player. Like, I see throw after throw by him where I'm like, that's a big time throw. Like, that's a Pro Bowl quarterback throw, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their offensive line is terrible. The weapons that they have are okay, but utilizing them is they're not doing the correct things with them. It's just a disappointment. Like, the Jaguars are just up the top to bottom disappointment. I feel like,
you know how you fix it? You fire Doug Peterson and hire Ben Johnson in the offseason. That's how you fix it.
I would actually agree with that. Peterson, I don't think that they will fire Peterson midway through the year. But if they take a blowout or something to the Vikings or something like I could maybe see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was so disappointed. The way you were with the Commanders this year, I was with the Jaguars and the Cardinals. So I was disappointed to see the Jaguars be worse. Yeah.
You're saying the Bucs win against the 49ers and the Cardinals win this week.
Speaking of firing head coaches, our next team, I'm telling you, you better choose the Falcons here because
it's the Falcons versus the Saints.
It's the Falcons and the Saints.
Well, let's see.
I know you hate the Falcons, but the Saints have lost 7 straight games, dude, and they just traded away.
They traded away a piece of burnt toast.
But now there's nothing but burnt, soggy toast to replace it.
They replaced a piece of burnt toast. They replaced a coach that's burned out. Let's see. Derek Carr's still there.
7 straight losses. 7 straight losses, dude.
This is the second time Derek Carr has gotten Dennis Allen fired in his season. But
those first 2 weeks versus the last 7 look like 2 completely different football teams, dude.
But I think them firing Dennis Allen sparks something. They're free of the horror.
Don't do it.
They're free of the horror. You're gonna see the New Orleans Saints win in a massive upset.
Oh my God! Don't SDS.
What do you mean, don't?
Eventually, you'll hit one of these Hail Marys, but you get mad when you don't catch up to me on a week-by-week basis.
I don't care if I catch up to you. This is just hoping my spite works.
So you're telling me against a divisional team that's 6-3.
Never underestimate the Falcons' ability to choke. It's going to come back to haunt them at any point. It might as well start now.
Against a team that has lost 7 straight and has maybe put up 20 points once in the last 7 games.
They're going to keep it at 7 because they're going to win this next game.
Well, I am throwing all my chips on the Falcons.
It is in the Super Bowl.
I do not trust the Saints, and it's one of those games I don't have a lot of stake in. But like, if the Saints win, then like, I took the safe choice, and I'm fine with it. It would suck if I chose the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Falcons, and all of them turn into losses.
Oh, I think that'd be hilarious.
2 of them turn into wins. If 2 of them turn into wins and 1 turns into a loss, that's not going to be some big deal, right? Well, you think you're big nuts?
No, this is not nuts. This is spite. Get it right.
Think you got big nuts now. Choose the Titans in this next game. Titans-Chargers.
Oh, I'm not stupid enough to do that.
No balls. Do it.
I'm not doing it. The Chargers are the much better team here.
I love, like, can I just say this about the Chargers? They are building something, and they don't look like the
they don't
Chargers
look like
of
the
old.
Chargers of past.
Yeah. And even though that they have flaws, I can completely bypass the fact that they have flaws. Like, even last week, I said they hadn't beaten a true
they
contender.
haven't charged all but once this year.
Yeah. It's like, they haven't beaten a true contender. I don't think they're true contenders. I think that they could make the playoffs this year. They're at least a year out from being actual contenders. But the way they're building this roster back, I'm actually quite excited for the future of the Chargers.
I agree. They just need to get an actual wide receiver. Ladd McConkey's
I'm choosing
great.
Chargers.
Ladd McConkey's
Ladd
great.
McConkey's good.
But whoever they took from TCU a couple years ago, yeah, he discovered he had hands the last game, but how often do you think that's going to happen?
Hopefully. I don't want anybody to fail. So hopefully he can get his shit together.
I don't mind anybody failing unless they're from Ohio State or Oklahoma State.
This next game that's coming up, it also gave me a heart attack. I was so sad.
This gave you an existential crisis. New York Jets
so
versus
sad.
Arizona.
I was so sad. I picked the Jets.
Oh my God! How many splits are we gonna have? I took
But
Arizona.
you
man.
see me with the Cardinals. You see.
I've seen you with the Cardinals the entire way. I just didn't trust them up until now.
Cardinals own the division, baby. 5-4,
Jesus Christ!
top of the division.
I'm counting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 splits right now, man. That's almost half the games.
If I go 6-0 in those splits, you're gonna be
I will
throwing
stab
shit.
you. I will come down to Orlando and stab you.
That goes 6-0. And the last split we have is the Falcons. It's the Falcons' last one to end. Imagine.
All right. Anyways, I don't think we'll split this next one, though. Philadelphia at Dallas. I think Philadelphia's figured it out. I think. And with Dak Prescott being gone for at least 4 weeks, apparently his hamstring actually tore off his bones, so that might be season ending.
Oof.
Meaning
Big
he's got to be
oof.
carried by Cooper Rush or fucking Trey Lance.
They need to just start Trey Lance and just show the NFL what Trey Lance is.
Literally a
'Cause-
first-round draft bust that got replaced by the literal last pick of the draft.
Well, that's what we all assume he is, right?
And that's what
but
that is what he is.
his playing time wasn't horrible. Like, he didn't play like awful football, if I remember correctly.
By the time he got back from his injury, he was third string on the depth chart behind him and behind freaking.
But you
Brock
get what I'm
Purdy and
saying.
Sam Darnold.
I don't want him to bounce around the league and like stay on a roster and steal someone else's roster spot if he's bad. But if he's good, put him out there. Let him sink or swim, because you're gonna sink as a roster already. You were 3-5 with Dak Prescott. Without him,
You're 0-1 so far. Actually, no,
yeah.
because he actually
Well,
didn't.
technically he played 3.5 quarters there, but
Cooper Rush's
but yeah,
carry job was not meant to be.
well, I'm choosing the Eagles
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons. If the Eagles don't win this, then there's something deeply wrong.
Can I just say, Saquon Barkley had one of the greatest plays of all time.
A backwards
This
hurdle
week,
that's like something out
A
of Madden.
backwards hurdle after fucking juking the shit out of somebody. He fucking took somebody's ankles. We traded for the wrong running back. I know I love Josh Jacobs, but we signed the wrong running back. Saquon is he is on his own level, and him being on a good team is kind of disgusting. Him and Derrick Henry this year have been taking the league by storm.
Right now, but they're on are they good? Because they're starting to figure it out. It's just that Nick Sirianni fucks it up again.
It's Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni's going to stick around. He's going to keep himself from getting fired because they're going to win a playoff game this year against some bum-ass team because they're going to make it to the wild card. They're going to win some...
They're going to be like this... They're going to be the number 5 going to Atlanta and then beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, they're gonna do something stupid, right? Like it's gonna happen, and then he's gonna survive one more year, and Eagles fans are gonna cry. Eagles fans are gonna cry.
All right, I don't think we split this next game either. Lions at Texans.
So exactly what I said would happen.
Terrible.
Their
offensive line, terrible.
Their offensive line has regressed entirely.
Are gone.
Their offensive line was one of the best last year, and it's one of the worst this year. I don't know what the fuck happened.
It's called the sophomore slump for literally the new regime. Literally everybody.
Everybody, even if they've been there for 5 years, everybody gets a sophomore slump.
Might as well with a new head coach.
They're still a good football team, but
I don't trust
I was
them.
expecting them to take a step forward.
This is the Lions all the way.
I trust the Lions so fucking much right now.
We trust in them to make it to the Super Bowl.
You want to know a little fun fact, stat line for me?
Hold on.
I'm undefeated.
What's the record right now? I like to know.
7-1.
Their one loss has been against fucking Tampa.
And I'm 8-0 predicting the games for the Lions right now.
You've literally been perfect predicting the Lions.
I've been perfect and they played against my team, and I said that it was going to be a blowout. And for the majority of the game, it was 24-3 for like the whole game, except for the last fucking 8 minutes of the game. I was pretty satisfied with that. I was like, at least I know my team, and I know the Lions. And I know they're better than us.
All right.
And this is the one that gave me a heartache. Like,
Dolphins at the Rams. Okay, I'm just going to say it.
You at least understand why my fucking brain is like, dude, I don't know what to choose.
The Rams are decrepit and broken. Miami has found their cog again with Tua being back for a couple of weeks. This is Miami's game to lose.
It is. But Miami's 0-2 with Tua since coming back. And the Rams found a way to win against the Seahawks.
That's more of the Rams. That was more of the Seahawks giving them the win.
Say what you will. Say what you will.
I'm taking Miami here. I'm not taking the Rams right here.
I'm taking the Rams. We got another split.
Jesus Christ.
You got another split.
Okay, counting them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 splits. We have 7 splits out of 14
There's no
games.
chance. There's no chance that one of us gains a game. We tie again.
There's no
one of us is gonna
gain a game no matter what, unless I end up being wrong and all my splits and drafts goes fucking undefeated.
If I go undefeated in the splits, dude, if I go undefeated, that would be
There better be upsets in the ones we agreed with.
I actually hope there are upsets, but like the king has to be a little bit more conservative until someone takes it from me, right? I don't know if I'm still at first, but like
I think so.
I got to be a little bit once somebody overtakes me, then I'm like, okay, I got to get, into this. Plus this week is just kind of bad for, like I said, the 2 biggest question marks I had was Vikings, Jaguars, Dolphins, Rams.
Yeah.
And even those, there's an obvious answer. Like, I think the Dolphins is probably the best pick. Same thing with the Vikings, but I just have that instinct that something's going to happen instinct. Also the Jets and the Cardinals. That one is, oh dude, I did not want to choose against the Cardinals there. The Cardinals are due for a loss though. Like
They're due, but I don't think it happens.
I won't even be mad if I lose that one. Like, I won't even be mad simply because the Cardinals have... I believe in the Cardinals.
Yeah. All right, but with that being said, it is now time for the news.
In actually, the first two things on our list of
it's time
news
for,
we've already talked about.
It's time for the news. No, root beer, no. Damn it. Well,
the first two, we'll get these out real quick because we already
broken.
talked about it. Like, we already talked about both of them.
Dennis
So I'll
Allen,
just read them out.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen has been canned. He
Finally.
ain't coming back. They locked the doors. They kicked him out of New Orleans.
Jamal
he no longer
Adams
can have
with
that.
his Jets key card.
Yep. And honestly, pretty much half that roster should be out with him, to be honest.
Yeah, they're all
But
old,
they're-
decrepit, and broken.
But they're kind of, which that should be happy for you. You'll be happy to know that they're going to be stuck with a lot of that cap space. They're minus 80 million right now.
They're still
I don't know
paying
what-
out the contract for Jameis Winston, who hasn't been with the team since 2020. Or, since 2023. Just to give you an idea of how deep in shit they are.
You know what I think? If they could have done it by the trade deadline, imagine the Browns send 3 firsts to the Saints just to take Deshaun's contract. So they just have an extra 70 million. So they're just in cap, not just cap hell, they're in fucking cap. I don't know. What is that?
There's nothing worse than hell.
It's just
A deeper
the
circle
lowest-
of hell.
deepest, darkest circle of hell. I cannot believe that they are 2-7 and $80 million over the cap. It doesn't
great.
seem real.
It's great. As a
It
division
doesn't
rival, it's
seem real.
hilarious.
All right, and now the other quick piece of one. Dak Prescott is out now several weeks, and
It turns out,
It's-
and this was
okay.
from 3 hours ago, part of Dak's hamstring pulled off the bone.
Dak is he's a great locker room guy. He's a nice person. He has a crazy story. Like, got a likable story. And so I'm not like happy that he's injured at all. Like, I really wanted him to leave Dallas. I really wanted him to leave Dallas this year.
He's Black Kirk Cousins. He does nothing when it matters most. Master of getting a contract, terrible at execution.
The thing is, though, is the Cowboys have been doing that for years. I don't know if it's a Dak thing. Is it a Dak thing or is it a Cowboys thing?
It's probably both.
Put him on the 49ers or something like that. I know the 49ers wouldn't sign him right now because they've got their quarterback, but
I'll say they got Brock Purdy to extend.
yeah, you get what I'm saying, though. Put him on a team that it's a good franchise, and I think he wins games. But that being said, I'm not happy that he's hurt, but it's going to be funny when they lose and fall off the face of the earth. It was already funny that they were 3-5. Not going to lie. It's funny watching the Cowboys fail.
We're at Dak. Don't be with us when we go 0-6 with Trey Lance. This just makes things better because if Dak Prescott's out for the rest of the year, that means my team plays against Cooper Rush when I go to Arlington to watch them.
So, I didn't tell you this. The only real, like, I say that I'm gonna not pick a team. I don't actually believe that, but I had secretly a plan for the rest of the season to never pick the Cowboys for the meme. Not based on anything other than I'm not gonna pick the Cowboys for the rest of the season just because of how funny it was. And so this week I just wrote out Eagles beat Cowboys. When I was writing down my picks, I was like, that's what it's gonna happen. Whoever it is. Say I get hit by a car and go into a coma, SDS, you could at least give one pick for the rest of the season to Joy. for my record, and that is whoever is playing the Cowboys, they're gonna win. And now it's actually a pretty good guess too.
I just realized something, Draz. The entire time, my audio is being recorded by my webcam and not my headset. Well, shit. Well, it's clear now. Not like it'll matter. I didn't have anything going on in the background that was going to catch up on audio.
All right. So the Lions traded for defensive end Zadarius Smith and sent next to nothing to do it.
I'm fine with this. This replaces it. Well, it won't replace Aiden Hutchinson, but it does help out that pass rush just a little bit.
If they could retain him, if he has a good rest of the season, that would be pretty interesting to see. But it's a pretty low risk thing, even if he enters free agency. So the next thing on our list is the Commanders traded
for a piece of the Commanders traded for a piece of burnt toast.
They didn't give up too much.
They gave up a 3rd and 4th round pick for Marshawn Lattimore
and got a 5th back.
Marshawn has done nothing the past couple of years. He's one of the more undisciplined players in the NFL. And the only reason why he gets headlines nowadays is because he keeps getting into fights with freaking Mike Evans. And to be fair to Mike Evans, I'd be pissed too if I was held every other play.
Yeah. We'll see. Because honestly, I think it's just having experience in the secondary for the Commanders is a win. I do think that he's not nearly as good as he used to be. But it's kind of like trading for an old Josh Norman or back when the 49ers traded for or signed, what's the guy from the Legion of Boom? Richard Sherman?
Yeah. Well,
it's like he's not physically there anymore.
Good.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. It's sort of the same move. Like you're trying to get a veteran presence there because you don't have much there to begin with. So
like Emmanuel Forbes, he's looking like a bust.
Did I not predict that 2 days early too? I was like, or was it 1 or 2 days early that I said the Commanders should trade for?
You actually said it that day.
It was something like that. I was like, they should do it, and then it happens. I was like, okay, cool. Now, here's the best trade of the year so far, is what we're about to talk about.
The Panthers fucking fleeced the Cowboys. They got a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo. And I'd just like to mention, I'm going to pull out Mingo's stats right here, just for this year. Jonathan Mingo. Let's pop it out.
It'll be a long list.
From Ole Miss. The first thing I see is Jonathan Mingo trade continues to confuse everyone. Why is that, you think? Well, let's take one look at his stats. For this year, he has 12 receptions for 121 yards. And he was drafted last year in the 2nd round.
So the thing that the icing on the cake for me is the Panthers made a trade with one of their wide receivers that was their number 1 guy this year for less. They got less. I know he's like in a contract year, but they traded Deontay Johnson for what, like a 6th round draft pick?
Yeah, they got like multiple late round draft picks to play with now.
Yeah. This is like, dude.
If only they had a first last year. Oh, wait. All right, and this one's kind of a well, the first part of it's kind of a big deal. The second part of it's like, well, you traded for depth.
Yeah, the Steelers trade for Mike Williams.
And the Packers traded Preston Smith to the Jets
to the Steelers as well.
Or the Steelers as well.
To the Steelers. Yeah, and he apparently quietly asked the Packers for a trade a couple weeks ago. So
The
they
question is, how
obliged
much
him.
does this help the Steelers? Because Preston Smith, he's rotation at best.
Oh yeah, I think Preston Smith has, for the last couple of years in general, has been really good depth, but he's not starting caliber. We've been starting him and paying him starting money. So trading him for a 7th-round draft pick, I was fine with that as long as we get rid of his salary cap. If they take his cap, I'm good. Like 7th-round draft pick, that's fine. I like Preston Smith as a person. Dude, you've been great for us, but you've been overpaid for the last 5 years. And as far as Mike Williams goes, he's been bad this year, but the Jets are bad. So I don't know how much is Mike Williams' fault, because he's hurt all the time. He could be just washed. But it's another relatively low. It's a win-win for the Steelers and the Jets. Win-win.
Yeah, especially now with the fact that they got Devontae Adams on that team. Mike Williams was just excess goods.
Yep. It was just a win-win trade for the Steelers. Low risk.
Yeah. All right. And our last actual news thing of the day, the new top 25 poll is out. And boy, oh boy, do we have some upsets last week.
I did not pay attention at all. All I know is that Duke lost.
And that's all that matters. But first things first, Oregon's at 1, as they should be. Georgia's 2, okay. Ohio State's at 4 after skating by their last 2 games. I hate that.
Penn State, you were the chosen one.
Penn State and Nebraska were the chosen ones, and they both failed. All right, Miami's 4, Texas is at 5 after being idle. Penn State only dropped down 3 rankings, which is completely fine, but I don't know.
I mean, it shows. I mean, it just shows how much they respect Ohio State.
Yeah, no, again, I'm pretty sure there's a propaganda wing reserved at ESPN and the AP poll just for Ohio State.
Like, we can't drop them down that low because they went against Ohio State and lost.
Exactly. Ooh,
Tennessee and Indiana should be higher.
Indiana should be higher.
Indiana should be 5th ranked in the country.
If they beat Michigan, you know they're going to be.
Dude, Indiana fans, if we have any in there, I'm on your team. I'm on your side.
After this week, they play Ohio State.
Oh, that would be fucking awesome. Indiana
going 11-0 into the last week of the season.
Indiana, do it, please.
Yeah. Well, BYU
is 8-0.
BYU is 8-0, and they're being led by Retzlaff. I just find it funny because he's the Jewish. Again, I said this a lot. He's a Jewish quarterback at a Mormon school, and I just love the mismatch. Like, I'm rooting for him. I want him to go and be amazing.
Alabama, why are you still here?
Why are Notre Dame and Alabama
out of the
still
top 15.
here? Well, Boise State and Alshon Gentry is at 12. This is the highest they've been.
You mean you need Alshon Gentry State Broncos? Ashton Genty State Broncos, sorry.
Ashton Genty Broncos. And he runs like a goddamn horse, too. He runs flat over people. And he stands like fucking Michael Myers.
I would trade Jordan Love for Ashton Genty. Even though I like Jordan Love, like, you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
he is that good. I really want to see who he goes to this year.
I don't even know.
I'd love to see him.
I don't even think he's eligible. Is he a sophomore? He's a junior.
I don't know.
He's a junior.
So yeah, he's.
Could you imagine him on the Chargers?
The Chargers or the Cardinals were my dream places for him.
Mm-hmm.
Another place that would be fucking awesome would be the Lions. I know they wouldn't pick another running back, but that would be
David
fucking
Montgomery
nuts.
David Montgomery did get extended, but
I know.
You'd think that after a year they like somebody to stew behind him.
If he fell in the draft pick, say
I'd love the Bucks to take him so we can have a Rashad Wright replacement besides Bucky Irving.
If you guys get a top 15 pick, I would say
No, we're not
he's
taking a
going to go
running
in
back
the.
with top 15.
It's worked out for the last two people that did it. Bijan Robinson is really good, and so is Jahmyr Gibbs. It wouldn't be the smartest play for you guys, but you guys fixed your run game, so play action Baker is fucking disgusting. It would be worth it to run play action Baker often.
Yeah. Okay.
But
13's SMU, 14's LSU, 15's Texas A&M after they lost to South Carolina. Ole Miss is 16. Iowa State got upset by Texas Tech. Army made it up to 18.
Go Army.
Beat Navy.
That was what
That's
they
the
did
entire
this
thing.
week?
Go Army, beat Navy.
Oh.
No, that's their tagline. Go Army, beat Navy. So, all right.
I was like, they jumped up the record for beating Navy. They defeated the Air Force.
They defeated Air Force 20-3.
Okay, whatever. I won't complain too much.
All right, Clemson's 19, Washington State's 20, Colorado. Why are you here? They did nothing last week, and they somehow rose two ways in the ranking. Kansas State's fell after losing to Houston, of all teams.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Pittsburgh dropped to third at 23 after losing to SMU. Vanderbilt's back. Here we go.
Vanderbilt, I love it. I hope they make the playoffs.
Vanderbilt, they're at least a bowl team. They're at least a bowl team, and that's all we can ask for. And then
Vanderbilt deserves so much.
And then Louisville's rounding out the bottom of the list at 25. So
they defeated Clemson, so
I'm fine.
W
with that.
Louisville.
Okay. With that out of the way, we got a few games that I want to take a look at. First things first, in the land of the Sooners, we have an offense. It just sucks that's against FCS teams. Javonte Barnes had 203 yards of offense, and Jackson Darnold actually looked like he was good.
This is gonna sound. I don't know if it's gonna sound funny or sad, but I didn't even know that the Maine had a college, and two, they were named the Black Bears. I don't think I've ever seen Maine in sports.
Every state has at least one college in the FCS or FBS. Just saying.
Montana University.
Montana State.
Montana Tech.
I think those exist. But next game up, I'm apologizing to you, Draz. Well, the Blue Devils had a chance, and then they threw a pick six, and then another pick six.
Yeah.
Malik Murphy looked terrible. I will say Malik Murphy looked terrible. And Star Thomas was held to just 25 rushing yards.
Yeah, I missed the days where we scored 29 points, or what was it, 20?
29 points.
Yeah, it was 29 points 4 weeks in a row. I missed those days.
I'll check real quick just to make sure. I'll say you guys are still 6-3. Yeah, 26 points, 26 points, 26 points, 45, 21, 24, 23, 28, 31.
Yeah, those first 3 weeks were a fever dream. 26 points 3 times in a row. Yeah. It's such an oddly specific number,
Such
too.
An oddly specific number. Like, it's a number that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
It's so good.
All right. Next one. For its high he, the Caissons go marching along to another win. Army is 8-0. They have 4 games to go, and one of them is against Notre Dame. I think they're a lock for the playoffs at this point if they win the AAC.
Yeah, probably.
I'd be
They played well enough.
fine with this.
Uh,
What?
The next one. The next one.
Yeah. Next up, Navy's playoff hopes are sunk. They just lost to
Yep.
Rice.
The only Chinese team in the
Wow.
in the in the
Wow.
NCAA.
Wow.
Beat them.
I can't even. I don't
So
even know if I
only-
can use that.
the only overseas team.
But I'll say it's weird because you think the Navy would be great overseas. But
You'd
no,
think.
they lost to a 2-6 Rice Owls team. They don't even deserve to be in the playoffs anymore.
Dude.
All right, and the last one, my continued hate watching of USC has now came to another satisfying conclusion. Washington beat them by 5. Miller Moss threw 3 interceptions, and Lincoln Riley is once again being called out as a fraud. I am a happy man.
Dude, their quarterback had a wild game.
Oh, Will Rogers did fantastic. Look
USC's.
at that. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
They both did. This is a weird game. Miller Moss threw 50 times, 30 for 50, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Who can ask for a better stat line?
Had a higher quarterback rating somehow than Will Rogers, who threw for 262 yards.
And nothing. But,
I mean, whatever, I guess.
Extend Lincoln Riley. That's what you do, USC. You extend Lincoln Riley. Well, that is it for news. But before we go, it's time to bring back another tradition. It is currently 11-6. We got a few games out of the way from the MAC, so I won't talk about them. But it is time for certified SDS predictions. I might be right. I might be wrong. If I end up being right, I say I'm a genius. If I end up being wrong, I could just say I was bullshitting. We got it. Perfect. First up, Florida Atlantic will beat East Carolina. UCLA will upset Iowa. Rice will upset Memphis. Indiana will blow out Michigan. Army will continue the roll against North Texas. Texas Tech beats Colorado. New Mexico State beats Western Kentucky. Oklahoma beats Missouri. Hawaii upsets UNLV. Purdue shocks the world and upsets Ohio State. Again. Georgia Tech upsets Miami. Florida gets it within 1 score with Texas. West Virginia beats Cincinnati. UL Monroe beats Texas State. Middle Tennessee beats Liberty. UConn wins against UAB. Ole Miss wins against Georgia. Kansas upsets Iowa State. Duke beats NC State. Georgia State beats James Madison. Kennesaw State and UTEP in the toilet bowl of the year. Kennesaw State wins. Vanderbilt will win against South Carolina by 2 touchdowns. Let's see, what else? Maryland will upset Oregon. TCU will blow the shit out of Oklahoma State. Florida State will bring it within a field goal against Notre Dame. LSU will upset Alabama. Penn State will rock Washington. Virginia will upset Pittsburgh. BYU will win against Utah. And Utah State will upset Washington State. Those are my certified predictions for this week. What a joy.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, chuckle fucks. And with that being said, that is the end of this video. I don't have much to say here, Draz. Do you?
I'm swagging, I'm surfing.
I'm gonna shoot you.
Oh, he's mad now. I gotta make him laugh. Rupert, no, Rupert.
Stop.
Now you have to play it at least, so you know they know what we're talking about.
Rupert, no, Rupert, why? No, there's so much Rupert.
That's so stupid.
Why?
Well, if you like the video,
You're stealing.
Do all the things you do on YouTube.
Yeah, if you like this, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, get notifications when I upload. Like the video, and we'll see you guys next week for episode 15. I think we'll be back to doing our normal intro rotation by then. Anyways, we will see you guys next week. See ya.
Bye.